here we are, week 3. Been going well, learning heaps. Weather today has got a little bit of a breeze, but man, is it warm. So we just, every time we finish racing or put the car away, we always remove the left rear axle. It's just easier to move the car around. The axle just goes straight in, with greasy chain with a special oil. If you have any damage in there, you're not going nowhere. So now we just go through our maintenance, pull all our travel shocks off. Jason goes through and dynos all the shocks and do all the settings we want for hot laps, then change again for qualifying, then change again for heat race, then change again for a main. So it's you don't get much time to sort of hang around and have a talk. There's always something to do, especially when Jason's around. You got to keep busy.
Keep busy. Get to work.
Get to work.
Not like David over there.
Not like David, yeah, on his phone. All the stuff in here that sort of come over to get some more knowledge about for Bodie and the team. There's so many different things going on in here, and they change it so often. Well, basically, I'm under here all night, if not putting carburetors on. J-bars, and there's so many things to learn, and the adjustments you do when you do them. Here, and they're lining up to go out, so everything happens real quick. Long time to get to the racing, long time to hang out like this. All of a sudden, just turn the racing turns on and we're good to go. These are just travel shocks that you put in. Save all the main shocks. These are just empty shocks with springs just to keep the car off the ground. And they go in after every night before we put it up in the top. Then we've always got the shocks at the dyno and spring smasher and stuff like that. So everything's got a system. It's just getting used to a big team like this. There's a lot going on. It's not like our normal racing at home where you get a bit of time and you get 12 or so laps, 15 laps. Here it's, you know, what have we been, 30, 40, 50 lappers, 100 laps in Macon. That was wild, Macon. Little small track, 100 laps. We won that meeting, so that was awesome. Yeah, we're learning heaps. Had the gearbox and everything out of this one yesterday, rebuilt all the clutches. So everything gets disassembled. We check all the axles and the lathe every meeting. Everything. Every Heim joint on the car, even though it still feels fine, all the Heim joints here, they just change them after X amount of laps just to save something that could have a break in it. You can't see it, they just don't risk nothing.
Call this Tech Tips Kiwi.
So in here we have all the spring steel. We have to take out each night to get on the trailer. Can you see it? It comes out like that and in like that. So if it's out like that, it doesn't fit on the trailer. Then you lose all your nuts and bolts.
About time he picks his tools up. Usually I got clean up after.
Nothing different about the American dirt late models to our super saloons. If you see here, they run a radiator in front of the motor and a fan, where our New Zealand ones, we run our radiators in the back. Because our engines have to be forward, aligned with the number one piston has to be aligned with the left-hand A-arm, not A-arm. So these motors are set back, that's why they put the radiator in the front, the fan and shroud. But we have nothing at all on ours, just front back. And they run a high octane BP racing fuel here to rerun methanol. We don't need to have as bigger radiators and stuff like that because we're running methanol, which is a lot cooler, use a lot more litres, but yeah, they run petrol and radiators here. One of the bigger differences between our cars is that carbon fibre hood. Carbon fibre here, aluminium here, the rest is all plastic. So it's designed just to be able to cave in and pop back out.
So in here, smashing some shocks for the night, getting them ready. Very common nowadays is spring smasher. This is the new AccuForce. It's got the display up here, makes it way more friendly for me to use. So I've been really happy with this machine. We got a right rear in here. Basically, what we do is, we know where we like our loads. Certain tracks, the install load would be here. And then the rubbers, we can check our rate. So we can add or take out rubbers depending where you're at and take out rate. And then we can just set the load where we want it to start the night. Come in here and just keep tuning on stuff. They're very handy. Makes life a lot easier in a lot of ways, but if you have something else messed up in a car and you don't realize it, then that's one disadvantage by not scaling as much as we used to. We very rarely use scales anymore. But if you have something messed up on the car suspension wise, you put on the scales, you usually will find it. So that's one disadvantage to always living off these spring smashers, but it's definitely with the technology with the bump stops and the spring rubbers and the stack springs and stuff, it's almost a must-have. And just the understanding of how we have our cars nowadays, it makes life a lot easier to stay consistent and figure out when you're good, when you're bad, and why. I feel like so. It's a lot of people get very intimidated by this. It's just something you kind of got to do. It's just ultimately it's pretty much simple math. You could do a lot of the stuff you could do just with tape measures and calculators, but other than when you start talking with the spring rubbers and the bump stops and stuff. But it's just a lot easier way of doing stuff, and you just kind of got to start doing it and to figure it out and learn it. But it definitely, everything's trending that way in pretty much every division of racing. So we pretty much live on this thing, use it a lot, so just makes our adjustments a lot easier. We like to run shock bags on everything. Obviously the shocks are very expensive, so it protects the shaft, protects the springs. Also another benefit is it keeps people from being able to see kind of what you have in there as far as bump stops or rubbers or stuff like that too.